Hey, what's up, everyone? It has been a while. I'm your host, Aaron, and you are tuning into the Freedom Frequency. If you've been here in the past, it might have been the Rebel Alliance before we changed things up a little while ago. But it has been a while since we have done a video, and we're going to get into a few different things today. But real quick, I hope this is the right button. I just wanted to let you know about one of our sponsors today, Start9 and their embassy systems. It is a great way to take back your computer sovereignty, and I'll let them do the explaining. But just keep in mind, if you use the code Rebel Alliance, I believe it is 5% off of your purchase. So let's just see what they have to say. All right, so there is that, and let's get back over to the other soundboard there. So, as you can see, still have the eye patch. I can't remember if I was wearing an eye patch in the last video. It's been a very long time since we've done one of these, and still dealing with the whole blindness in that eye from the detached retina for just about over a year ago now. And anyways, it's a whole nother long story, but just excited to be back here, excited to be talking to you all, and hopefully, I don't expect a lot of people jumping on the live stream today just because we haven't had a video in a while. And this is probably catching a few people off guard. And I guess we'll just get into the reason why there hasn't been any videos, what we're going to be going forward with, and then talking about the most recent post I put on, which is still kind of confusing because I haven't transferred this over under the new branding, but it's still East Coast PMA. And I just did a post about building strong communities, the power of unincorporated associations. So still been doing consulting work for associations. I know the ladies over at the PMA Manifesto, we took the month of December off for our monthly calls. We'll be starting back up in January. So if you're interested in getting on those calls once a month, ask your questions about associations. Doesn't cost you anything. You get to chat with some other like-minded people. Jump over to the pmamanifesto.com. Make sure you get on that mailing list so you're made aware of that, or join the Facebook group, either the Freedom Frequency or the PMA Manifesto Facebook group. So yeah, it's a lot's been going on. So the reason why we haven't had any videos lately is this past year we went to the Polyface Farm, Joe Salatin in April, I think it was. Alyssa and I met up with the ladies from the PMA Manifesto, debated the ladies from the Pro Advocate group. So I need to make sure I get that video up here so you can see that. And then a friend of mine decided to run for Senate here in the state. And my name came up as somebody who might be interested in running for office. And if you've been watching the videos, you know I'm a big proponent for people getting involved at the local level, whether it's your town council, selectmen, different committees within your town, showing up at your town council meetings, speaking out, letting your voice be heard to the local, and the state government. So I decided to run for House of Representatives in my district, ran against the guy who's been in that spot since I think 2011, has run unopposed since 2016. There's been a few others that ran against him, but they really didn't do anything as far as a campaign. And we did really well. It was a lot more work than I expected. So every day I was out door knocking from 3 p.m. to 6:30 at night, and then the time changed, so it was even earlier, because nobody wants a guy with an eye patch knocking on their door at 6:30 at night when it's pitch black out. So that was one of the main reasons why I haven't been doing any videos. Is I really got involved at the state level. Still am out there in the town. I'm still showing up to the town council meetings, all the different events going on in town. So still kind of like politicking or running, but not door knocking, just trying to make sure I'm out there and people know that they have a voice in town. So because some people are afraid to speak out, and they're afraid of the ridicule they might get, or how they'll be looked at in town. And I've been approached by a few others that had concerns. So that being said, I decided to start in January. It looks like we hopefully will be getting off the ground a consulting and mediation business. So that will be good because I retired from my law enforcement job here at the state. So I am technically retired, but I have these skill sets that I want to put use to. I think staying out of the courts as much as possible is probably the best interest of everybody. So we're going to start getting back to these, as long as nothing else comes up, getting back to these live videos every day. I think around the 1:30 time frame is probably going to be best, depending on job situations and how things go. But thank you to all of you who have been buying your Start 9 systems through, or I should say, been buying your Start 9 systems and using the code Rebel Alliance, because I have been getting some residuals in from that. So I appreciate that in this time of figuring out where I'm going to go with everything. But that, and then, everybody that's been watching the YouTube videos, I appreciate that. I got my first check from YouTube, which was kind of cool. It was $100, but, I never even thought that would ever happen. So it was kind of neat. But I'm just really focusing on now is getting this, I'm still going to be dealing with this eye thing for a while. So I've got to get more used to the lack of depth perception. I really got a lot of things around the homestead that need to get done, videos, and a lot of that got put on hold while I was running for office. So that was like 4 or 5 months of me doing nothing but going out to different events, meeting with people, sitting on couches and talking with people over a cup of coffee about their concerns in town. And it's not just even the local level, but also like the national level. And then we had the big presidential election. So there was a lot of things going on. But what was great about this, and then we'll get into today's topic, the best thing, and I should probably turn on comments. So if anybody has a comment, they can put in a comment. That being said, one of the great things about running for office that I didn't really expect to happen was all the connections that I made. So I have met individuals that are almost 20 years younger than me. So they're in their late 20s. I'm 46, they're 26. So about a 20-year difference. And, it was interesting sitting with them and seeing things from their eyes, and they're homesteaders, and some of them have small farms, or actually large farms in town that have been in the family for years, and they want to get involved, but they didn't know how to get involved or who that voice was. And now myself and a few others that have kind of been out there are now starting to become that voice. Yeah, man, I'm back, and it's been a wild ride. Thanks for jumping on today. And if you missed the first half of this, the first 8 minutes or so, you can go back and watch that and kind of see why we haven't been here. And we'll hopefully be back more on a regular basis. But I was able to meet all these people. I had met one guy, and we were talking with him and his fiance. And the next day, he was out door knocking with me, coming to town council meetings, wanting to get involved. And that happened with a few others. So there's like 13 or 14 of us right now that are like, hey, we want to get involved. We want to start making some changes, because a lot of the people's voices aren't being heard, because I do live in a college town, which kind of makes it difficult sometimes. So anyways, it was a great experience. We're going to take another bite at the apple in 2 years. But I would highly suggest that any of you that are listening to this live or the replay, definitely, if you want that change made, it starts at your local level. And I guarantee once you dive into the local level, you will not believe how much questionable things go on when you start following money and payments and that sort of thing. So enough about that. But recently, I'm just looking at my other screen over here, I posted on East Coast PMA about building stronger communities, the power of an unincorporated association. That kind of came from my experience of what we were doing over the last 5 months running for office. And we're not forming a PMA right now with anybody. It's just kind of a loose collection of people that are looking to be more active, run for, different committees and stuff like that in town. But one thing when we, with Liberty House and some of the other groups that are, that I talk to, or people that I help out with, is having that common goal and coming together. So for those of you who might be watching this for the first time, an unincorporated association basically is a group of people coming together for a common goal. They have that reason to associate that's protected by the First and 14th Amendment, the freedom of assembly. And as long as you're not doing anything illegal, like running a brothel, like I always used to be using my older videos, or selling fentanyl or anything like that, then you're going to be pretty safe in what you're doing. And it allows you to be able to come together to form a structure that gets through all the red tape and bureaucracy that you might have if you wanted to set up like an LLC or something like that. You have your bylaws, your articles of organization, your membership agreement, and it allows you to come together as a group and assemble for whatever your reasoning for assembling is. And I think that's important because it allows you, as I said in the article, it allows you to harness the power of shared interests. And that's really huge. When we started Liberty House, and as I've talked to others, throughout, from here to Australia to Hawaii about associations, it's really amazing to see what type of power you have when you get a collective group of people coming together for one common goal. So like here in Connecticut, we lost our religious exemption for children in school when it came to vaccinations. And so fortunately, Connecticut, which I was hoping to get into this legislative session because I think they're going to try to change some of the statutes. One right now we have that's very it's very broad in its meaning when it comes to religious organizations. So it doesn't say church, it just says religious organizations. And the Office of Early Childhood doesn't like the fact that these ministries are being set up around the state because people are like, hey, listen, I want to be able to educate my child a certain way. I don't want any oversight from the government. I don't need somebody telling me what kind of shots I have to give my child. That's each individual family and parent's decision. And so we've actually beaten back the OEC about 5 times now, I think, so far in the state. And the last one was just a couple months ago. So it's very interesting when it comes to seeing how a group of people come together for a common goal, how strong they can be together. So that's one of the important things. And I think harnessing that power of that shared interest is also huge. And then I went into the importance of, thriving communities and community building. When we started Liberty House, it was 3 of us that started it, and this was early on in the pandemic. You've heard the story before. If you're have it and you're new to the channel, well, basically during the pandemic, we decided that, hey, we need to throw together some Freedom Festival or some Freedom Bazaar, and we had a bunch of people come out, and then we said, okay, how do we need to protect ourselves as a collective group? Started Liberty House, and our numbers have gone up, have gone down, have gone up, have fluctuated over the years. And right now we're kind of stagnant. And I think I see that a lot from others that I talk to that have these groups of people coming together, just because life kind of, gets a little bit normal, I guess is the best way to put it. Right now, I think a lot of people are, just frustrated with the way the economy is and keeping a roof over their head and working multiple jobs, where some of these other things get pushed to the side. But when we came together, we would do great things as a community. And if we could build these or something like this, these community-based associations in each town, borough, county, whatever it is that you have in your area, I think would be huge, because we have members that bought a house. They had a bunch of things that needed to be done. They put together kind of a list, provided coffee and breakfast, and a whole bunch of us came over for what we would call a barn raising and get a bunch of stuff done. We also did that to somebody who actually had a house, was kind of like the executor of it, taking care of it while somebody was away. And we were able to go over there, cut down trees and stack wood and, get things cleaned up, because it's hard being sometimes one person or even 2 people with Alyssa and I. It's difficult trying to get things done around here. And, we've grown our flock a little bit, and I still need to clear land. I still need to get an outbuilding built for, other animals and stuff like that. So, let me tell you, trying to build a chicken coop with one eye, no depth perception, is very difficult. So hopefully, in 8 months, we'll see where the eye is at. But it's getting back to the whole community thing. If you can build and thrive in your community, you can have these little pockets of people that are all kind of interconnected based on their shared goals and values. Which, if you were to look at it from a political standpoint, would be any of your local town committees. So like your Democratic town committee, your Republican RTC or Republican town committee, or anything like that. So it's good that you can do this and be protected by the First and 14th Amendment. And then it also, allows you to make change. And that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of us want to make change within our communities. We're tired of seeing the wasteless spending. We're tired of, zoning and telling us we can't do this, we can do that. We've really come so far from being allowed to live freely. Sometimes I feel like that we need to get back to that. And the only way to get back to that is to have that change where we're coming together as a group. And maybe there's 5 or 10 of you that show up to town council meeting, or some of you that run for a local committee, and now you're on that committee, you can bring change. You can actually say, no, listen, this is not what people want. We've had an issue with that in town with the zoning, and making sure that our voices are heard. So again, this video today was really just to kind of give you an update on where I've been, what things have been going on, why things have been so quiet. And I think if I have the right one here, it's kind of been like crickets around here. All right, yeah. So hopefully we're going to get that changed. We do have some things coming up as far as businesses that we're getting off the ground, but this really needs to get back to being I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it every week or every day, but at least a weekly podcast or video cast, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully get the group that was on here before to start coming back on. Seeing the videos are going to be more consistent again, because your questions are great. It makes this stuff go by so much faster. I love answering the questions. We've still been doing phone calls and consultations with people. I have one coming up tomorrow, I believe. And just it's amazing to see that people are still, as crazy as things have gotten over the last several years, they're still, hey, listen, there's still ways to make change. There's still ways to come together as a community. There's still ways to say, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z, and this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to form our association. We're going to make sure we have really good written bylaws and articles of organization. So if we are ever challenged, we can stand up and say, no, everything's being done properly, including that alternative dispute resolution within your documents, which a lot of people aren't putting in there. And I'm looking forward to getting back to the week or the monthly calls with ladies over at the PMA Manifesto. But it's one of those things where I think sometimes people get back into their groove of things, and we kind of lose sight on the importance of having an association or forming our groups to bounce ideas off of each other and to hold each other accountable for whether it's, I remember in real estate, there was the 5 a.m. wake up call to get your day started, that sort of thing. So expect more content coming out, getting more into the weeds of associations. I'm going to start getting more people back on here for interviews, which I think you all like. But I'm going to keep this one kind of short today. We're almost at 20 minutes, I think. And I've got some other things to do around the house, but I really am, let me know in the comments and the replays of this and on YouTube or on Rumble. Let me know if you think 1:30 Eastern Standard Time is good for you all. I want to try to make it available to where everybody can see it. Being semi-retired now, it's weird for me to do it I kind of think everybody else is home while I'm home, so to speak. But most of us have multiple jobs and that sort of thing. So I hope to see you all on here in a few days. I will post the live setup, so should get notification through YouTube. I will post them in the Facebook channel. Hopefully that'll start getting active again, along with the Telegram group. And if you guys have questions, please feel free to send them in beforehand. You can always email them to me. All my contact information's below in the video after it ends. And get your questions in. We'll get them answered live on the air. And maybe we'll even be able to figure out some way to take phone calls or something like that. Be a real actual professional production here at the home office. So anyways, we're just about at 19 minutes. I just want to say thanks for everybody for watching and getting caught up to date. I will see you in a couple days on another video. And then again, thank you for bearing with me in this. I'm now, since running, have to make up for 5 months worth of not getting anything done around here. So I look forward to seeing you all and talk to you soon. See you on the next video.